MVP race or who's the best team.
Right.
And Peter, what are we doing today?
We are doing the AFC West, and it is about to be lit.
We do two shows here. We do Good Morning Football, and then we do Good Morning Football with Making the Bleeping Case.
Making the case for how the West will be won. Who will win? There's a three-way tie for first in that division. We did this 11 weeks ago. If you haven't seen this, people, you're not going to work today. Call in, use your mom's voice to call school. You're not going. Be tardy, whatever.
This is like a GMFB holiday. This is how intense it gets. We have been working on these scripts for 24 hours, so it's about to go down.
I've never heard, I could hear a pin drop in the hall. Usually there's music playing or everybody's talking and laughing and nothing.
I don't want to talk to these dudes. It's all about competition today.
I've been working on the script my whole life now.
Before we get to that, lots of news, lots of things going on. I see they want to see Davis Webb starting for the Giants now. That's interesting. We'll get to that. But first, let's go to school, guys. Time for Journalism 101 with the lead block.
Lead block!
Let's do this thing. So, you know, you go to J school, you go to Princeton, or Mizzou, Michigan State, wherever, Emory, and then you sit in J school, and you have to ask the right questions, right? You have to learn the who and the why and the where and the what and when, all of those things, and where, of course. So let's start, guys, with the who. My first question for you guys this morning is who has the most intriguing matchup in this one? I think we can go player versus player. We could go, you know, revenge game style. We could go team versus team. And I'm challenging you guys to beat Saints-Falcons, which is the Thursday night game on NFL Network this week.
I can't beat it. Okay, you mentioned Emory. That's down there in Atlanta. Saints-Falcons, the Mercedes-Benz. Look, Arthur Blank built this new stadium, and suddenly they have a really hard time winning it. They lost to the Bills, they lost to the Dolphins, and it sort of feels like, in a way, the Falcons' last stand. We're talking about the defending NFC champs. You cannot lose this game at home and national TV. And I always love Thursday Night Football. It's NFL foreplay before the weekend. I love it. I'm here for it. That's my game.
But it's almost like, I feel like this Thursday night game, Peter, is going to be like eating the surf and turf before you get to the apps. It's like switching it up because this game on Thursday is going to be so legit.
But I disagree. Because to me, it's the appetizer, because the main course is Sunday night, and you've got the Ravens going to Pittsburgh and playing the Steelers. That Steelers-Bengals game Monday night was ugly. I didn't love it. It was brutal. It was beyond football. Sunday night is the ultimate showdown between two teams that hate each other but respect each other. And the Ravens are now red hot, 7-5. Ray Lewis was on Inside the NFL yesterday. I was watching it. And he looked at the camera and gave that glimmer that sometimes I like to give about a team and was like, just watch about the Ravens. Just watch about the Ravens, because the Ravens are coming. The Steelers might be without Shazier. They might be without Juju unless he gets a suspension of health, whatever it is. The Ravens are coming, and the Steelers have been, whoosh, here comes a team that might smack them in the mouth and get the win. I cannot wait. It's a battle of two teams that hate each other but respect each other.
Okay.
Sound like Ray.
Forget about the hate. Forget about the rivalries. Let's just talk about highlights. Philly and L.A. This game right here has all of the elements to be one of the most high-scoring, explosive games out there. And that's the offensive matchup. You guys are missing the fact that Seattle's playing the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Good one.
And we haven't talked about the Jaguars this late in the season in, I don't know, forever. So a defensive matchup in that one, and then an offensive matchup in the other one. These two games, for me, they got me most intrigued.
Moving on to the What Journalism 101. You have to ask what. What was your reaction to the NFL's latest suspensions, the appeals, and then the results, Nate?
Wrong. They got it wrong. I feel like when they went out there and they suspended Gronk, it was right on. Gronk attacked the guy that was on the ground. He basically let his anger get the best of him. One game or two? You think one was enough? One was fine, but you can't suspend Gronk one game and then suspend Juju another game, or the same amount for standing over a guy. Because if you really break down the football hit, I know this will make a lot of Steelers happy and a lot of Bengals mad. That was a clean hit. He put his shoulder right in the middle of his chest. He took his helmet out of it. He stood over him, which was why it was ugly. But this right here is not suspendable for one game. When you stand over him and you keep everything in context, what happened within that game, that's why they suspend him. So Juju getting suspended, that's not the same as Gronk getting suspended.
So do you think Gronk should have gotten two then and Juju one?
No, I think Juju should have got a fine and not a suspension.
I also thought that, I mean, Juju's apology I thought was really sincere and timely. Gronk's apology, it went on and whined about the refs. I thought it was superior. I think there's a factor here that there's a little bit of disarray going on. We're seeing all these fights that were happening, and now that game was a mess. I actually was surprised. I didn't think they would suspend him, but I can see why they would. Especially, I mean, it was a terrible image standing over a player who just had a head injury. Terrible.
It's knee-jerk now to get a suspension and then appeal it. That's just what you do through the NFLPA and the agent. I was kind of surprised and a little bit, I don't know if the word is disappointed. I don't think Gronk should have appealed this thing. Like,
it's a bad look. You come
It's
out
a bad look. You apologize, and you're like, well, wait a second, I shouldn't have been appealed. That's dirty play. Take the game.
Good point.
Come up there, say, I apologize, absolutely warranted. I'll miss the game against the Dolphins, and then I'll get back on the team. To appeal it, it means that you're against it, and you don't. You're fighting it. Now, look, everyone appeals. It's money. I get it. It's just what it is. It's the process. If you have the option to appeal, of course, you should always appeal financially. But from a public relations image, does he need the money that badly that he needs to appeal that? So that I'm looking at that and saying, you didn't. So in your heart of hearts, you didn't think that was a wrong play.
To that point, look how fast we accepted AJ Green's apology. AJ Green, 42,000, and he said, "I'm not going to appeal it. It's my fault. I was out of pocket. I was out of my element." And everybody said, "Oh, you know what? AJ,
Is that
you're
right?
good."
He didn't appeal
He
that
didn't
at
appeal
all?
it. Didn't fight it at all.
All right, guys, moving on to the when. Really good thoughts and points by everybody here in Journalism 101. Moving on to the when those Minnesota Vikings, they've got a great game here in Week 14. When do they lose their next game? Let's pull up the schedule here. They've got at Panthers this week, Bengals at Packers, and Bears, Peter.
You know what? I said it yesterday on the show. I said it Monday on the show. If they win out, they're the 1 seed. And if you're the 1 seed, you get home field in the divisional round. You get home field in the NFC Championship game. And in this very particular case, you get home field in the Super
Big game.
Okay, my answer?
They're winning out.
N-A, not available.
Incredible.
TBD. I feel you on that.
Can we hear that horn? Just one.
Hit the horn!
I believe you, though, because I'm looking at that schedule, and I'm taking it down to the X's and O's. I'm looking at those quarterbacks. Can that Minnesota Vikings D smother those quarterbacks? The biggest test would be, of course, Cam Newton coming up this weekend. But after that, you got Andy Dalton, you got Trubisky, you got Brett Hundley.
Do you?
And I feel like they
Do you have Brett Hundley?
Because I'm looking at Week 16.
I'm looking
man.
at someone else there.
Now
prayers up.
Santa comes early, baby.
I don't feel like they're going to let him in the club. I don't feel like they're going to let Aaron Rodgers on the field in the club. Because if they do, you don't believe that the Minnesota Vikings is going to lick their chops.
They've done it once to him.
And he's kind of limped into this game. That would be a bad choice for the Green Bay Packers. Out there
If their playoff hopes are alive, it would be a bad choice because you're scared of the
Rodgers going to be
Vikings.
dying to get out there against the Vikings, get some revenge. That would be my answer, okay? Week 16, because that means that number 12 is out there. I'm praying for it. Let's go.
All right, moving on here, guys, to the why. Why are you looking forward to Eli's return?
I'm looking forward to seeing that stadium erupt. I think that's the loudest we are ever going to hear Giants fans in the history of that place. I saw Victor Cruz score a 99-yard touchdown. I saw them beat the Vikings 41-0. The Greg Camella game in the playoffs. This will be louder than that. Seattle be damned. Arrowhead be damned. The Giants Stadium, MetLife, when Eli is introduced, takes his first snap, and I cannot wait.
I got a friend who's a season ticket holder. He said he put all his tickets on the ticket service, whatever his NFL ticket, whatever it is. Said he took them off this weekend because he's got to be there.
Gotta go.
I said, why? Got to be there for Eli. Eli needs him.
That's right.
Eli needs him. So there's a thing about New York fans where everyone's so tough and angry, but they get really sweet and emotional and soft and vulnerable about the guys they love. So Jeter, Rivera, Pettit, Sada. I've got the back. And they'll cry. So, I just want to see the New York City police officer or fireman, crying, nodding at Eli. It's coming. It's coming this weekend.
He took them off NFL ticket.
He's like, nope, they're
New
not
Yorkers cry with an accent?
Yeah. The tear comes down with a little bit of anger.
The Empire State Building have the number 10 up there. It's going to be so great.
You know, I'm out here working 6 days a week, and I never think about going to a game. I'm at home yesterday, sitting back, and I literally text Devon Kennard, who's the linebacker for the Giants, and also Brandon Marshall, who we know is banged up, wide receiver, one of my close friends. And I said, hey, you think I can get a couple of tickets? And then I found myself thinking, wait, I work on Sundays. So why do I even want a couple of tickets? Because I want to feel that energy.
Yeah.
I want to feel the New Yorkers, just like Peter said, have somebody's back that had their back for so long.
Last one for now, guys. Journalism 101. How is the last question? How is this possible? What do I mean? Well, last week, what we learned for Week week 13 was Zay Jones. You know, he's just not human, right? He's a wizard, defying gravity. Let's take a look at Zay Jones if we have him.
Okay.
We all saw this. Nate reenacted it. Zay Jones responded on Twitter. This was a little bit crazy. Then Sunday, good gentlemen, we saw this.
Okay, what else we got?
Exhibit A, Sterling
I haven't
Shepard.
seen this, okay, what you're about to show me.
I just hope we can stop seeing this. Can we see Sterling Shepard, please?
Let's watch Sterling.
I heard Shepard got involved in this thing, and some say it was forced.
Could we see Sterling
Some
Shepard?
Like he was trying to.
There
Oh, here
it
we
is.
go.
Yeah.
What do you got, Sterling?
You're gonna need to post that. No, you're gonna, yeah. It gets better.
Come on. It's good.
It's impressive.
It's really
It's
good.
impressive.
Guys, how? Answer the how.
I do a lot of yoga. I'm not doing that. What is that? Lotus pose or something like that?
Do you do a lot of yoga?
I do. Every
Do you?
Friday. Yes, I do. You should
Really?
see me, Kay.
Gin martini one hand, like dog.
That
like,
makes it more challenging, and I
Okay.
don't spill, and there's a 1-year-old baby. I do a lot of yoga. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know that pose. They say it's about core strength, right?
Core stability.
I don't know, Nate. Could you do it?
Yeah, I can do it, but I'll say this.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I guarantee I'll do it. I'll do it by the end of the show. Listen,
Yes.
football players
Sign me up.
are the most athletic guys in the world. I know basketball players are going to get in their feelings. Baseball players, you don't stand a chance.
MMA.
I respect hockey and MMA and soccer because they're freaks of nature. I respect hoopers too. I feel like I'm a hooper. But football players, the most athletic guys ever. That's why they do these
That's
things.
how they can do it?
Every single season, they get bigger, faster,
You don't think
stronger.
James Harden could do that, Nate?
Nah.
The only one of us that's on the sideline, though, is you, Peter. So if you see that going down, or you're like,
It's
yo,
incredible.
you're a robot, I'm
That's
on to you.
amazing. How'd you do that? Yeah, it's fascinating. I'm also, and I know we want to talk about Robbie Anderson also, but Kyle, the yoga thing on Friday, yesterday on
This is journalism
the
101.
show, you said some things, you know, whatever, and then on Twitter, there's a lot of Kyle was triggered, Kyle was a snowflake. There's no
I
way
got
to,
called a snowflake.
There's no way to get your man
you
card
translate
back
that?
than
Yeah, you got
coming
called
on
a
and
snowflake.
saying,
What
does that mean?
you do the lotus pose.
And I believe by
I
a
do.
white dude.
What does that mean?
That's what really was crazy. You got called a snowflake by a white dude.
Yeah, but snowflake is different. You're saying I have to give up my man card because I do yoga? Let me tell you.
Tony Richardson's played in the league 17 years.
Yeah, and let me tell you, yoga has some benefits
Yeah.
late at night, okay? That's my man card right there. Trust me. You want to do a little yoga yourself, my friend. Snowflake.